Um, so hi everyone, Stacey Limepixel. I'm here with Tanja and Iden of Identity Matters, and this is a Limepixel Limelight feature. And the purpose of this is really, we're in a bit of a strange time at the moment. We're all going through the stay-at-home policy due to the coronavirus pandemic. It's going throughout the whole world, and for those of you watching now, you're probably in a bit of a lockdown situation. For those watching in the future, this is going to be a bit strange, but so the premise of Limepixel Limelights is really just to invite small businesses to get together, to have a chat, to promote their business, because we still need to market our business even though we're all stuck at home and maybe business has taken a dip. And yeah, just to really keep the communication going, see how we can help each other, shout outs for help. And yeah, so hello, I'm with Tanja.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. It's a bit of a strange scenario, this one, isn't it? Where we're all kind of, kind of cooped up at home. We're all trying to work out, who has what piece of the office, and it's a strange scenario, but it's just something we've got to kind of roll with, really, isn't it?
How are you? And luckily technology is there to support us, isn't it?
Yeah. How are you finding things?
To be very honest with you, from a business point of view, it hasn't changed very much for me. What is a little sad, as some people who might follow me on Instagram or Facebook, they might know that I've rented a studio at East Beach Studio in Worthing, and we were meant to move in yesterday. So obviously they're shut, so I'm still working from home, yeah, so in that sense that hasn't changed. I've always been working from home. In terms of meeting clients, that's now obviously via Zoom call or WhatsApp or just over the telephone. So there's no face-to-face meetings, but the work itself, luckily, has not been affected. I've not been affected by it, so that's really good.
That's really good, actually, because and also you're a new business, aren't you? Because you're setting up Identity Matters, and
yes,
yeah. So how have you found the setup? Has that been different?
Oh, it's so I have been a designer for over 20 years, and I was always in full-time employment. Being self-employed, I thought it wasn't for me. I was quite happy to be working in a team, especially if you're in a team of designers. I thought, you bounce ideas off each other and you can have brainstorms together. And I was always scared, if you go solo, who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to ask for feedback? Who are you going to ask for, does this idea work? Or but luckily, I found it does actually work. You can still be in contact, especially if you've done this job for so long. You know quite a few people where you can, bounce ideas off. That's really good. And so far I'm really, really happy about my decision. I've been commuting to London for 6 years and I just can't do it anymore. My life has improved so much. I'm so much more relaxed. And as much as I liked working in London, I do love being in Worthing. And it's great to be, because it's such a lovely community, Isabel, here. Amongst designers and artists as well. So
there is a real creative community in Worthing, I think.
Absolutely.
And we're not far from Brighton, where again they've got a massive creative community, but I think Worthing still has its own little hub of creatives, and like you say, the East Beach area is a real sort of centre point, really, for all of those creatives coming together in all forms. So
and I'm very excited for it to start. I don't know if everybody knows it, so East Beach Studios, it's little beach huts next to one another, right next to Coast Cafe, between Coast Cafe and Splash Point. And so you directly at the sea, so I'd be working with my eyes onto the sea directly, and the door will always be open, so I quite like that as well. So if someone would want to get in touch with me, they just come by the studio and just come and say hello.
Yeah, it's lovely down there actually. It's a really beautiful setting, and like you say, you're right next to the cafe, so you can grab yourself some coffee. You look out literally on the beach. You're literally on the beach, aren't you?
Yes.
So yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah. Okay, great. So so let's give a bit of background to how we met. So we initially connected, I think, on Instagram, didn't we? And then we bumped into each other at the recent Worthing Better Business Show, and then decided to meet up for coffee, didn't we? And it kind of all established from there. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's really good, isn't it? Because I haven't been with Instagram for that long, but the amount of people I've met already, saying, I know you, I follow you on Instagram, and it's surreal a little bit than meeting the people in real life. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, it is a strange one. I've actually got a Zoom call with someone I just know on Instagram later this week, actually. And it's going to be really weird speaking to them face to face, where, I mean, obviously I've seen their stories and their lives, but I've not actually interacted with like this. So it's a strange one, but it's really good because, like you say, it brings everyone together. We're using the technology, things like Zoom and stuff, to actually talk to each other and still keep those connections going and the communication going. I think that's vital, isn't it? Particularly now, but particularly if you're a home business and you're working from home and you don't always have those colleagues, like you said, where you were commuting and you had those colleagues and people to bounce ideas off. This is a great way of kind of doing that.
Yes, especially as I work here from home at the moment with our receptionist.
Yeah.
Our
sleeping at the moment.
He opens the post if I'm not quick enough. So it's good that I have my little dog here with me, but it can be a little lonely sometimes. Yeah. So good to communicate on other platforms with people.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and so we really recently worked together on your website project, didn't we?
So we did.
Which was really great, actually, because with you as a designer and having that real attention to detail, that designer's eye, and if you look at Tanya's website, identity-matters.co.uk, that's right, isn't it? You'll see the actual the design elements that Tanya has created, her Ingrid, that really bring the whole website to life. Because and I keep stressing that with my customers, actually, that having that design package, not just the logo and some fonts, but the whole kind of package, the colors, have your fonts, have some graphics and some design stamps and some logos, and all of that really does bring everything to life and bring your whole identity to life, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, you don't want to your website to look too generic, do you? So it's a decision you have to make, whether how you want your website to represent yourself and your business. So of course you can just get some stock images from somewhere and just dump them on your website, but maybe it's worth to actually looking, okay, what do I want people to tell about my business, about my personality as well, because you'd be working with me.
Yeah.
But who's my audience as well? Who does the website appeal to, and who's going to look at it? And if they're not touched by what they see, if they don't like what they see, maybe they don't go beyond to actually look at the content. So it's a first introduction, isn't it? It's your first impression that you make.
Yeah, and it's not just your website, is it? It's all that kind of design and that brand image that carries right across through everything, through your social media platforms, through any sort of marketing materials, your client documents and everything. So having that design set up and established from the beginning that you can carry across, I think is well worth investing in.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Great, great, great. And we're also trying to work together as a collaborative team as well now going forward. Now we've worked together on a project. I've been your web creator, you've been the designer, and we know how each other work. And I think this would be a really good blend for offering ourselves as a package and saying, look, Stacey, me, Limepixel can do web, and Tanja can look after all your design elements and logo and but you don't just do that, do you? Because if you look at the website, you'll see that you focus on your, you know, your PowerPoint presentations and photo editing. So tell us a bit more about that.
That's really funny, actually. So when I started in 1998, when I was 10, sort of, I started as a PowerPoint designer, really, and it took me a long time to actually get more into the design sort of side of things. About 7 years ago, I was placed in a team as a PowerPoint designer, just amongst, you know, proper graphic designers. And initially I was a bit like, oh yeah, whatever you do in Illustrator, I can do in PowerPoint, because I'm still a huge fan of PowerPoint, and I think everybody who moans about it that's those people who don't actually know how to use it. PowerPoint is excellent. It's a really, really good tool for presentations. Not for much else, because it is a presentation tool. Like, people sometimes say, oh, can you just create a logo? I've tried it in Word and it doesn't work. No, it doesn't, because the hint is in the name of the program. It's called Word. It is for words. Same with PowerPoint. So, and sitting with all the designers, I got more and more into actually, okay, now if I want to create an illustration, some avatars, some icons, maybe PowerPoint isn't the ideal tool. And that's how I grew into it, and actually learned to accept and to love InDesign and Illustrator as well. Yeah. So I do all sorts of things. The funny thing is, we have a section where we try to focus on, but just yesterday, someone contacted me and asking me if I could do their CV. This is the first time ever that I'm designing a CV for somebody else. Yeah. But yeah, I'm open to everything. But we do branding. We do brochures, business cards, and everything that comes with that. So your other stationery, you know, letterheads and compliment slips, that kind of stuff. Yeah. We do flyers of all sorts, for internal as well. You know, if you have a big company and you want to do some desk drops to inform your employees, something that can go through the post, all sorts of things. PowerPoint presentation I've mentioned, but we also do Photoshop. So Photoshop is for me personally, it's my least favorite program, and there's almost too many ways to get to the solution. I'm a maths fan. 2 + 2 is 4. We don't need to discuss about it. Whereas with Photoshop, there's so many different ways, and it just confuses me. But luckily, my husband, who is on the team as well, he is absolutely excellent. Yeah. He's been teaching it to kids, he's been teaching it to students, and he's been working with Photoshop since you had to install the program with a floppy disk on your computer. So for quite a while.
Yeah. I think,
that's what we do. Say again?
I think the internet connection's dropping out a bit. I'm not sure if that's my end or your end. It could well be my end. But we'll continue. We'll continue on as you do. So that's really great. So I mean, there's loads of areas that you can cover from a design aspect, which is really great. And like you said, you know your husband's part of the team as well, so you pull in kind of his expertise as well. That's really important, isn't it, to have like supportive family members?
Yes, it's mainly me, but he has a skill that we can utilize, that we can make use of, you know, if someone needs it. Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, great. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so how can people find you then? You know, if people want to get in touch with you to kind of connect, ask you about, you know, how you can help them, how can they get in touch?
Well, so since I'm only beginning, I need to work that out myself. So that's actually a really good question. How can people get in touch with me?
Yeah.
So I have an Instagram account, Identity Matters. I'm on Facebook as well. But I have my website, obviously, identity-matters.co.uk. And for everything else, I'll see. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll create some flyers for myself, which I will have in East Beach Studios. Hopefully next month we'll see how the coronavirus develops and how it all goes for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the details I need to work out as
Yeah.
well. You know, suddenly doing this all for yourself.
Yeah.
How do you get out there, and how do you? I mean, obviously, us working together and you doing the session today obviously helps me as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's my pleasure. You know, I'm quite keen to support small business, particularly local ones, but those further afield as well. And as we said, in these times, we kind of need a little bit of a boost, don't we? We just need to sort of support each other and help each other get our messages out there. So I'm really happy to do that. Great stuff. Well, okay, let's wrap it up there. It was lovely to talk to you.
You too.
Yeah, we'll be in contact, obviously, because we're gonna forge forward with our collaborative work and see how we can put together a package to offer out clients with a design package, web package, and yeah. So
The
all the
world's
best,
gonna hear
Tanja.
from us.
Yeah, great to see you today.
You
Take care.
too. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye bye.